Hello, fellow weirdos of the internet, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Ray Roddingwell, and I'm a special effects artist, character actor, character designer, and costume designer, and I'm here to talk about my favorite things. So, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love doing special effects. It's such an amazing job. I get to scare people for a living, and I get to make other people scary for a living, which is just like the coolest thing for a weirdo such as myself. However, there is a lot that I have learned over the last 7 years of doing makeup. If you don't know this already, I'm pretty much self-taught. I looked things up on YouTube. I kind of started doing makeup around the time when special effects and teaching yourself was kind of a big thing on YouTube and social media in general. And it was very cool for me because I didn't have to worry about going to a school. I learned everything online. I learned a lot through trial and error. And I was lucky enough to have very nice people in the industry that saw potential in me sort of take me under their wing. So I'm very grateful for that. And I thought I would pay it forward to new artists that want to get into special effects, because it's not all fun and games. There's a lot that needs to be learned. And this video, I will be teaching you the 6 things that all beginners need to know, at least from my opinion. So let's get started. So before we get into this, the first thing that you need to know is special effects is very expensive. It's not like with beauty makeup where there are drugstore brands that are almost dupes of very high-end, high-quality makeup brands. With special effects, if you use something from a pop-up Halloween shop, for the most part, you're not going to get very good quality makeup. It's not going to be makeup that's going to be easy to apply. It's not going to be makeup that's going to stay on through a whole day of filming, or mostly not even an entire night at like a Halloween party or something like that. So it does get very expensive, especially the more you start to learn. Like body paint, things like that aren't very expensive. But as you go into sculpting, making prosthetics, buying silicone, and starting to get all of these different types of materials that you need to do really big characters or any really big costume pieces, it gets expensive. So keep that in mind when you start getting into special effects. It's going to cost. It's going to cost a lot. The next tip that I want to talk about is understanding basic anatomy. If you're doing any type of injury simulation or gore or anything like that, it's very important that you are aware of basic anatomy. Where certain bones are, how big they are, how they would break, ligaments, tendons, fatty tissue, muscle, all of that stuff is very, very important if you want to make any of your special effects look realistic. Especially if you're doing something on camera. A director is going to give you all of the injuries that they're going to want to have for that film or whatever it is that they're working on. And if you can't bring that on camera in a realistic fashion, it's going to be a bummer for you, and it's going to be a bummer for the director or whoever you're working with. So it's always very important that you understand how injuries work and how the human anatomy functions before getting into anything crazy like that. One makeup that has always bothered me ever since I started doing makeup, I never even did this kind of makeup because it just didn't make sense to me, and it was so frustrating to me because I didn't understand how people thought that this makeup and injury made sense. It's the stupid soda can in the eye makeup. And first of all, it doesn't make sense, okay? I'm gonna go on a rant for a second. It doesn't make any sense to me. all of the bone here, like, would crush the can. Like, there's no way that your bones are that weak that pushing a soda can into your eye will make all of that break and you can lodge the soda can into your eye. Like, it never made any sense to me. And but see, that goes into learning basic anatomy, because that doesn't make sense. And also, it's dangerous, which leads into my next topic, my next little tip: safety. Please do not put sharp things embedded into your makeup. Shards of glass, soda cans, anything that's sharp, anything that has a very, what's the word that I'm looking for? Words are hard. Anything that has like a hard angle. Thank you. Thank you, brain. Anything that has a hard angle, do not put it into your makeup. Unless you have something that can retract or something that is like a very soft foam, do not put it on your face. You have to think of, not even on your face, just anyone's face. If you're working on a client, anything. The only way it works is if you have something that can retract. If you fall, it will retract into itself. Or if you have something that's foam, it will just kind of bend. Otherwise, like, you have to think of the worst case scenario. If you were to fall and you had the soda can in your eye, like, ow, that could easily hurt you. And you have it around your eye. Like, think, people. So always think of the worst case scenario when it comes to special effects. If it's something that looks like it could potentially be dangerous, even if you're only wearing it for 5 minutes, you could really hurt yourself. Be safe about the makeup and what you're doing. For me, please. Thank you. My next tip is scar wax doesn't work. There was a very big trend when I started doing special effects that all revolved around scar wax. Powda FX was the one that started it, and don't get me wrong, it's an incredible medium to have. It's great to learn how to do anatomy. It's amazing to kind of learn as like a sculpting medium. It's very easy to create little pieces of bone and cuts and things like that. It's a really cool thing to have. However, you will not be able to let it, like, you will not be able to make it hold up on camera because it's waxy. So it'll eventually start to crumble, it will start to melt off, it'll start to move if it's on an area where the actor is going to be moving a lot. Like, if you have something on your wrist, if your actor is talking and doing this, like, it's gonna start to peel off, it's gonna start to crumble, and that's it. All that work that you put into it was on camera for 15 seconds and then it started to fall apart. It's great to take photos just if you want to have something new to post and you want to challenge yourself, but just keep in mind that if someone is looking through your feed and they're looking for a makeup artist for something and they come across that and they want you to do that makeup for film, you need to know, and they need to know, that it's not something that's gonna hold up on camera, if that makes any sense. So just be aware. Scar wax is cool to work with, but you cannot use it on camera. It will fall apart on camera. It'll fall apart at a party. Whatever, like, it won't last. So this kind of goes back into what I was talking about with scar wax. You cannot do a cotton and latex buildup on every part of your body. So what happens with scar wax and latex is once you put it on, it won't move with your skin. Excuse me. That was gross. Anyway, it's not like silicone. With silicone, it kind of moves to your face a little bit more. But with cotton and latex, it does not happen. It will not move with your skin. I'm about to sneeze. I'm having a hard time right now. Anyway, it will start to, it won't continue to adhere to your skin. The more you move, it's gonna stay in the same place, and I don't know if this makes any sense, but the prosthetic, the latex and cotton buildup will stay, and while your mouth moves, it's gonna start to almost move itself loose. Like it's gonna start loosening, and then eventually it won't be adhered to your skin anymore, and it's gonna start to peel off. And you don't want that, because then that's gonna be constantly having to readjust it. If you're at like a Halloween party, you're gonna have to walk around with like some spirit gum or some Prozade or something, and that's just not gonna be fun. You're gonna be constantly worried about if it's sticking to your skin or not. So you always just want to be a little bit wary of where you're putting things. So like anything around the mouth is going to have a hard time staying. Anywhere on your wrists is going to have a hard time staying. Like around here is good, around here for the most part is good, like here, but anywhere when you get close to a spot that moves a lot, like the more weird faces you make, the better. So you can kind of see how much an area moves. Like things on your arms, on your chest, on your shoulders, like things like that won't really have an issue, but you want to make sure that this area is clear of any type of cotton and latex buildup, because it will start to peel off. So keep that in mind as well. So this is very important for people that are going to be working with alcohol activated makeup. Don't put it near your eyes or your client's eyes or whatever. I know this sounds like common sense and a lot of people should know this, but sometimes if you're not paying attention and you're kind of just going through doing like a spatter or applying any type of makeup to a person's face, sometimes you just don't pay attention and you don't remember that you have this brush that's like coated in alcohol and all of this paint on it. It's gonna burn your eyes. Like the skin under your eye is really sensitive, and also your eyes are very important. Like you need your eyes. It hurts, it burns, it's not fun. I've done it to myself a couple of times, but I kind of know how much I can handle. I'm doing this to myself because I can handle it. I know how much alcohol I need to put on it, and it's fine. But just to be professional, always use like a grease paint or a cream paint around the eyes that is close to the color that you're using for the rest of the body, just to be safe. Steer clear. No alcohol near eyes. And that pretty much does it. Those to me are the most important basic safety tips, things that people need to know before venturing out into the special effects world. There's obviously tons of other tips and tricks that are important to learn, but to me these are the basics. These are the ones that are good to start off with, so you know kind of what you're getting yourself into when you get started, and the basic do's and don'ts for when you start doing makeup on people for the first time, or even when you're doing makeup on yourself. Just some important things to keep in mind when you're starting your special effects journey. A lot of this was stuff that I had to learn on my own, and it's good to learn on your own, but it's also better to have someone that kind of has your back and is watching over you and making sure that you don't burn your eyes and spend a bunch of time doing a certain type of makeup with a certain type of effects medium and it crumble and fall apart, and then you're sitting in the corner of your room in the fetal position having a mental breakdown because you feel like you can't do anything because you messed that up. I wouldn't know what that's like or anything. Those are my 6, how many was that? 6? 5? 6? I think it was 6. 6 things that every makeup artist should know before getting into special effects. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy my channel, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. You can push the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss a video, and have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video.